What is up, guys? Delboy here. So Sergey Kovalev outboxes Eleider Alarez to regain his WBO light heavyweight title and also avenging his knockout loss from last August. Really good performance from Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev in this fight was obviously with a new trainer, Buddy McGirt, and some of the adjustments they made going into this fight really impressed me, and they certainly worked a treat. During the build-up to this fight, Kovalev said he would go back to basics and also go back to his old amateur style. And watching this fight, you could certainly tell, they made a lot of adjustments and they all worked. In this fight, Kovalev was a lot more fluid. He took a lot less risks, a lot less loading up on punches, and he just boxed a steady fight for 12 rounds. In the first 5 rounds, I felt Kovalev looked excellent. The jab of Kovalev was working a treat, varying it from body to head. He would vary the power on the jab. He would step in with the jab. He'd use the jab to push Alarez back. He'd use the jab to maintain range. Just a really educated jab. Also behind that jab, Kovalev would throw a quick right hand, and that shot also worked like a treat throughout. Really good shot. And yeah, Kovalev, he done the basics really well. He only threw combinations when he felt safe to, and when he threw combinations, he wasn't loading up. He was kind of, like I said, he kind of, I wouldn't say he was shoe shining. He was connecting harder than that, but you could tell he wasn't putting his full force into these punches, and as a result, Kovalev's hand speed actually looked a lot quicker in this fight. So I was impressed with the combinations of Kovalev in this fight and also the hand speed. Like I said, first 5 rounds, Kovalev looked excellent. In rounds 6 and 7, I thought to myself, Kovalev is starting to tire, and I felt it looked fairly noticeable. Alarez had more success in round 6 and 7. I believe Alarez landed a couple of good right hands in round 6. And I think one of them actually hurt Kovalev. Nothing serious, but, just buzzed him ever so slightly. And in rounds 6 and 7, I thought this is going to go one of 2 ways. Kovalev is going to unravel and get knocked out, or he's going to pull himself through it. And to his credit, he got through it. Round 6 and 7 weren't great, but round 8, he really regained control, boxed well, again doing the basics, keeping range, feinting, using that jab, picking up points. And after a good round 8, Kovalev kind of then got his second wind and actually finished the fight very well. Rounds 10, 11 and 12 were really good from Kovalev. Towards the back end of the fight, Kovalev actually started to land some good hard right hands, and I felt he buzzed Alarez a couple of times. I felt Alarez was actually hurt in round 12, and that was what actually impressed me the most about Kovalev's performance. He actually finished the fight really strongly. He was going for the knockout after boxing a really good fight. So I enjoyed Kovalev's performance. I felt he boxed exceptionally well. The jab was on point. The feinting of Kovalev was exceptional. Not only feinting, with the upper body, but feinting with his legs. And he took Alarez's jab away in this fight, and that was his main issue in the first fight. Alarez he was never really comfortable in this fight. He didn't do a good job of managing distance, and as a result, his jab was nowhere near as effective as first time around. First time around, Kovalev didn't really move his head as much. He didn't feint as much. He kind of fought a poor fight in the first fight. And in this fight, when Kovalev made the adjustments, Alarez's jab was nowhere near as effective as first time around. So Kovalev did a good job of neutralising Alarez's jab. He also did a good job of neutralising Alarez's overhand right, which is his best punch. That's the punch he knocked out Kovalev with in the first fight. And, he really minimised the amount of times he got caught with that shot in this fight. He got caught a few times with it, but, he defended it a lot better in this fight. Kovalev would move to his right to get away from the right hand. He would be moving his head a lot more. Also, his jab wasn't as lazy in this fight. Kovalev's got a bad habit of, when he'll throw a jab, he'll bring it back really low. And you can counter Kovalev's jab with a right hand. Andre Ward did it. Alarez did it. That shot is there for you against Kovalev. But in this fight, I felt he minimised that. He brought that jab hand back quicker at times and covered his chin. His guard was better. He still made the same mistakes at times, but he did it less. And as a result, it minimised the opportunities for Alarez to land that right hand. And all in all, Kovalev just took away Alarez's two best punches and he outboxed him. It was clinical, it was textbook, and it was really, really enjoyable to watch. I still believe Kovalev has seen better days. I don't think he's the same fighter, but still a very good fighter. Still world class, still a dangerous guy for anybody in that division. How do I see him getting on against the fellow champions? I think Beterbiev is a 50-50 fight. If Beterbiev gets up close and works Kovalev's body, then it could be a short night for Kovalev, but Kovalev has, in my opinion, superior long-range boxing skills, and all in all, I actually believe Kovalev is a better technician, so Kovalev could outbox Artur Beterbiev, and he could actually knock him out. Beterbiev has been dropped, he has been hit. That Kovalev right hand could be detrimental to Beterbiev, but I see that fight as a 50-50. Vodzik is another fight out there for Kovalev. I believe Kovalev would have a chance in that fight, but maybe Vodzik's a bit too fresh. I might side with Vodzik in that fight, to be honest, but I wouldn't rule Kovalev out. And the last option would be Dmitry Bivol. I believe Bivol will beat Kovalev. I think Bivol has the ability to time Kovalev's jab with his right hand. Bivol's got a really, really quick right hand, and I think stylistically Bivol could be the hardest matchup for Kovalev. I think that would be a great boxing match from distance, and one for the purists, in my opinion. I like that fight, but yeah, Kovalev is back. Really good performance. Let's hope we see big unification fights now for him. Kovalev himself has said he wants unification fights, and to be fair to him, he's always said that. He's always chased those unification fights, which is good, and hopefully in 2019 we see Kovalev in with a fellow champion. He's in a good position because he's with Main Events, and I don't believe he has a TV contract with anybody anymore after HBO pulled out of the boxing game, so Kovalev, not having a TV contract is good for him because he can fight on DAZN, he can fight on ESPN, he can fight on the PBC. His options are open, so he's in a really good spot. And fair play to Kovalev, he really did revitalise his career last night, to be honest. He was coming off a bad knockout loss, and at 35 years old, you'd imagine another loss to Alarez would have been curtains on his career. So last night was do or die for Kovalev, and he pulled through. So credit to him. It was a high pressure fight, and he got the result. So fair play to him. Share your thoughts below. Peace.